Welcome in, everybody. Thanks so much for joining. We'll give it just a moment for folks to log on. We'll get started. Go ahead and fill out our welcome poll. And yeah, like I said, we'll get rolling here in just a moment. Thank you. All right, we're going to go ahead and get started here. Thanks so much for joining us. Hopefully, we don't take up too much of your time here today, but we do want to get through some important information about our program and answer your questions as well. I'm going to go ahead and end the poll, but I do appreciate those of you who were able to complete that. That's helpful for us just to get to know you a little bit. A few housekeeping items before we get started. If you have questions throughout our time today, please feel free to use the question and answer function within your Zoom window. This just helps us to keep track of your questions kind of in a systematic and less chaotic way. And we will be kind of answering your questions as we go along today. You can use the chat to introduce yourself or to just generally chat or what have you if that's what you'd like to do. Typically the chat's pretty quiet, but if you use the chat to ask your questions, sometimes they can just get lost. Also, within the Q&A function, you can ask your questions anonymously. You can't do that in the chat. Um, all right. Without further ado, let's get started. So my name is Matt Dietrich. I am the Assistant Director of Admissions at the Penn State School of International Affairs. I'm joined by my colleague, Christy Percio, who will largely be in the chat, answering your questions again through that Q&A box. We will be talking today about our Master of International Affairs degree. We won't be able to talk about any other degree here at Penn State University, just because we only represent one department, one school, which is the School of International Affairs here at the university. So if you do have questions about anything other than the Master of International Affairs, you're probably not in the right place, and you'll need to contact that department directly. Okay. With that being said, I'm going to move forward here with our presentation. First, we're going to talk a little bit about Penn State and the School of International Affairs, give you some highlights of our program and the university, just generally speaking. And then we'll move into the application and how to apply, and then hopefully finish off with just answering your questions. So again, feel free to throw those questions in the chat box or the question and answer function as we move along so that we can tackle those as we move forward. But we will also have some time at the end for a kind of bulk Q&A session. We offer here at the School of International Affairs a professional master's degree. And just a kind of a side note, I will be referring to the School of International Affairs as SIA from here on out. So don't get thrown off if you hear SIA. That just is, it's less of a mouthful if I say it that way. It gets you out of here faster. All right, we offer a professional master's degree here at SIA. It is different than an academic degree. where you are really focused on becoming an astute researcher. You will do research, you will learn how to be a good researcher here at SIA, but our goal is to help students get a job in a professional job in international affairs, kind of broadly speaking, as opposed to training folks for academia, PhDs, working in research fields where you're really just reading the literature and aggregating data and inputting data and those types of things. Again, there's a little bit of that, but it's not our main focus and function. We're a member of the Association of Professional Schools of International Affairs, or APSIA for short. You may have heard of APSIA, especially if you're applying to many of our kind of competitor sister schools, however you want to describe those within the consortium. We are one of about 70 accredited APSIA schools within the consortium. In other words, we're just considered one of the top international affairs programs in the world. We went through a rigorous set of standards and checks to ensure that we offer the type of quality education necessary for careers in international affairs. And we're just really proud to be a part of that. We offer an interdisciplinary, flexible, and customizable curriculum. You can choose one of 12 concentrations or create your own by taking classes in other departments at Penn State, including international affairs. We also offer education abroad. If you're a student within our program, you can absolutely go abroad to earn graduate credit, to complete an internship or the capstone requirement, and some other things like embedded programs or faculty-led programs to a certain extent as well. So there are a variety of options to experience education abroad. We also have elite experienced faculty here at the School of International Affairs. We have former ambassadors, diplomats, folks who have worked in the White House, in the Department of Defense. We have top scholars in economics, media and journalism, sociology and agriculture, sustainability and the environment, and others. We also offer great support from our staff. We have an academic advisor, a career services advisor, a student affairs associate, and Christy and I, on the admissions side, we will help you all the way up until you begin taking classes here at SIA when you're enrolled in our program here in residence at University Park. And then we will pass you off to the very capable hands of our staff here who really focus on your journey as a current student up until graduation. And we have an over 90% career attainment rate within 1 year of graduation. This has been true since 2013, since we've been collecting the data, and currently it is at a 93.6% career attainment rate in meaningful employment within 1 year of graduation. When we talk about curriculum flexibility, there are first core classes that you will have to take in order to set a foundation in international affairs. And the classes do consist of the following. I won't name all of them, but we do focus on economics, international law, diplomacy, international relations theory. You'll take a class on research design or econometrics, as well as statistical methods and other courses to really set a foundation in the field of international affairs. And again, some social science research, which will be necessary for careers post-grad. When you're creating your concentration or choosing one of the 12 that we offer, you're able to also take classes in many top Penn State graduate programs here at the university. Although you will be required to take a certain level of international affairs courses, because that's the degree you will be getting, there will be some flexibility for you to take classes in business, history, political science, health and human development, whatever is going to help you get the type of education that you're looking for, or the knowledge and the skills that you're looking for that job that you're trying to achieve once you graduate. And we will help you through this process. Over 60% of our students choose to create their own concentration, just because we have such a variety of students coming in with very niche interests or backgrounds from varying bachelor's degrees, and they really want to marry whatever their bachelor's degree is in with an international affairs career, and they take classes that help them do so. You can start or perfect a foreign language here at Penn State. We do require students to meet the intermediate proficiency level in whatever language they choose that is not English. So you can do so here at Penn State by taking Spanish, French, German, Italian, Arabic, Mandarin, Russian, mm, and so many more that I'm not thinking of at the moment, Korean, Japanese. And this will be necessary not just for your career, but to graduate, because we do require that. You can complete this requirement with a certain set of courses in a combination of courses in your undergraduate and graduate studies, or you can completely start a language here in state from the ground and work your way up. Every student is required to complete a master's paper or an internship. Because we are professionally focused, most students are choosing the internship for obvious reasons: networking, building relationships, getting those types of real world skills, getting out into the real world. Master's paper is typically done by those who are interested in PhD or research once they graduate, and neither is right or wrong, just dependent upon your particular interests and career goals. So, why consider coming to Penn State? Well, Penn State is a top 100 global university according to US News and World Report, as well as topuniversities.com. Penn State also does have, objectively speaking, the largest alumni association globally, and this has been true for quite some time. I think we're nearing the 180,000 dues paying members of the Penn State Alumni Association, and we really are reaching the 800,000 plus alumni worldwide. This is important because it's not always about what you know, but who you know. There are plenty of examples um, of our students, meeting Penn Staters around the world and getting jobs or internships. We have an alumni mentorship program here at SIA where we'll connect you with alums in our program as well to help kind of network and help with cover letters, jobs, resumes. I'll talk a little bit more about that later. Penn State is also a global community and it is centrally located. You can see here on the map that Penn State is near at least three major US cities and one international city. Some that aren't included here are Pittsburgh or Baltimore, for example. But we do take our students to DC and New York to meet with the alumni that I just got done talking about. Of course, most of them are in DC, but there are a certain subset within New York. We did just come back from New York on a career development trip where our students met with employers that are likely to hire our students or have already hired many of our alums in the past. But they also participated in a simulation with the Council on Foreign Relations. They visited the United Nations. So there's a lot of benefit to these trips other than just meeting employers. It also includes meeting SIA alumni for networking receptions and again, building those kinds of professional relationships that will definitely be necessary once you graduate. You can see here from our statistics that State College is one of State Colleges, the surrounding community here, Penn State. It's one of the safest places in America to live. State College is kind of your quintessential college town where everything is kind of centralized on the Penn State brand, if you will. It is also a very international student friendly campus. You can see here that there are over 9,000 international students here at the main campus of Penn State University, and we're a top institution for international student enrollment. So why consider SIA? Well, you get full access to this great university that I just got done talking about. You also get support from every angle while you're in our program. So we offer a three-tiered advising approach with an academic advisor, a career advisor, and a faculty mentor. All are available to ensure that you are successfully making the journey through graduation, getting the professional support and development that you need, but also giving you the opportunity to learn what you need to do while you're in graduate school to kind of get to the place that you want to be once you leave here. We also offer peer and alumni mentorship. As an incoming first year student, we will match you up with a second year student who is available to you to help you transition from where you are right now into graduate school. Some of you are coming to a brand new state, city, country in a lot of cases, and that person is available to you to be a resource as you make that transition and to really bridge the gap between your second year cohort and your first year cohort and build the type of community that we so desire here at SIA. We also have alumni mentorship. I touched on this earlier, but our students will be matched up with an alumni that has kind of a like career as what you're interested in. We try our best to do that, and they're available to, again, build a network, build professional relationships, help with cover letters and resumes, and those types of things while you're a student here. Again, we offer education abroad to over 25 locations around the world. Our students do engage in education abroad at a very high rate. It's one of the many benefits of our program that is unique to other programs. Graduate schools typically don't allow graduate students to go abroad just because it can kind of logistically be a nightmare, but we've made that really easy for our students in selecting programs that bring back graduate credit and don't delay your graduation. So that's a benefit to you as a Penn State student. We also offer networking through the Penn State Alumni Association and our career trips, which I got done talking about. Community is a really important aspect of our program. Our director is very keen on building community here at SIA. It's very important to us that we kind of break down the barriers to access within our program. We kind of dismantle the imposter phenomena or syndrome of our students within the program. And so we do a lot of things around building community, such as monthly international affairs discussions led by our students and our director. We have a lot of kind of lunch and learns or extracurricular lectures where students can have lunch with one of our esteemed guest speakers and learn about issues of international affairs. We have trivia nights and potlucks and all kinds of different things that are academic and non-academic in nature to really build our community here, because we find that that's a really important aspect of the graduate school experience. And again, our career services are really great through the career development trips and professional development in-house. You get individualized career support, and it has allowed us to be successful in ensuring that students are obtaining meaningful employment within 1 year at a rate of 93.6% within 1 year of graduation. All right. So moving on from kind of like the selling points, if you will, and the heavy marketing language of who we are as a program, to the nitty gritty logistical application requirements, how to apply. One thing I do want to pitch to you or before we move into this is, in a few weeks we will be having a best practices in applying to graduate school webinar. This webinar is going to go through every aspect of the application and break it down. Just to kind of put it plainly, we're going to give you the answers to the test on how to put together the best application for admission and best consideration for scholarships to our program. You definitely do not want to miss that. And if I could ask my colleague Christy, maybe she's working on it, to put the registration in the chat for everyone to see, so that you can register for that. That would be super helpful to you all to be there. I promise we're going to break down the application. Those who attend the best practices webinar typically do best on the application itself, and typically earn higher scholarships and admission into our program. Although not always true, because the onus is on you to put together a good application. It typically is true. Amazing. So first, before we go into the application and what is required of you at the time of submission of the application, are the deadlines. So the very first deadline that you must be aware of is December 31st, 2025 by 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time. This is an extremely important deadline because those who apply before this deadline will be in best consideration for our merit-based scholarships and admission into our program. Your application must be completed in its entirety, including all letters of recommendation. I therefore recommend that you apply as soon as you can to give your recommenders ample time to submit those letters. You don't want to give your recommenders, more than 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or less than, sorry. Let me rephrase that. You don't want to give your recommenders less than 2 or 3 weeks to write a letter of recommendation, because they're busy too. The holidays are coming up. They have many things that they must tackle. And so you want to ensure that that you're giving them that type of time. Plus, it gets something off of your plate, and you can kind of just rest assured that your application is in the review queue. The final deadline for admission is February 15th, 2026 by 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time. By this time, we highly anticipate that all of our scholarships will be distributed to qualifying candidates who applied prior to the initial deadline. But we will still consider you for admission as long as there are seats available. So you kind of put yourself at a bit of a risk because there definitely won't be scholarships available, and we can't guarantee that there will be seats available. But everyone has their own path and journey, so feel free to apply by then if you find that that is necessary. I don't recommend it though. After February 15th, this will really just be based on seat availability. There won't be scholarships available by this time. So again, please apply by December 31st. That is extremely important. So, how to apply? Well, first, you need to go to our website. Awesome. Thanks, Christy. I appreciate that. If you could just see the chat, everybody, you'll see that our best practices in applying to graduate school registration is in the chat, not the Q&A, but the chat. So, check that out and register, and we hope to see you there. All right, back to your regularly scheduled programming. So when you apply to our program, the very first thing you need to do is go onto our website. There's no tricks to this. Many of you are applying to many graduate programs, competing priorities and deadlines. Great professional skill, by the way. And with differing requirements for each program. We put all of our requirements on the website so that everything is transparent, out in the open, and clear. At the time of application, you need to submit the following: your current resume or CV, a copy of your official transcripts. Typically, unofficial transcripts are the copy of the official transcripts. Really, official transcripts become a copy when they are in your hands or in your possession, but we do need at least a copy of the official at the time of application. We can't accept any grade reports, academic or advising transcripts, or anything like that, screenshots of your Blackboard or Canvas account or anything like that. It must be an official university document uploaded to the application at the time that you apply. We require a statement of purpose or a personal essay, personal statement, whatever you call it. We call it a statement of purpose. There are instructions on our website. Again, please review our eligibility page for all of the details that you need there to successfully apply. But our statement of purpose is 600 to 800 words. We have one prompt with a few different instructions for completing that. So again, please become well acquainted with that. We will really break down what a good statement of purpose looks like in our best practices webinar. So again, register for that. We hope to see you there. We need the contact information for 2 recommenders. We do prefer faculty members or professors to write your letters of recommendation because they're best suited to assess your ability to take on higher levels of learning at the graduate level. If you have been out of the undergraduate game for a while, we totally understand. Please choose a recommender from an internship or professional experience that is kind of quasi relevant to international affairs. If you're making a complete shift from one industry to international affairs, try your best in getting a letter of recommendation from someone who can speak to your character, integrity, and your ability to take on graduate work. And that will be super helpful. Again, we'll kind of go over this in the best practices webinar as well. We have some supplemental essay questions at the end of our application that you must answer thoroughly. Failure to answer these questions with integrity or at all will result in a denial of your application. So please ensure that you are paying close attention to these. If you're an international applicant here today, we do require proof of English proficiency through IELTS or TOEFL. We cannot, and there are no exceptions to this, we cannot exempt any student from the English proficiency requirements unless Penn State has already deemed the country in which you've earned your degree as an English-speaking country. This is on our website. Some of you may have your medium of English, or I'm sorry, your medium of instruction in English at a university in a country that is not deemed an English speaking country, unfortunately, that still does not allow you to be exempt. You must look at our website to determine if Penn State has already predetermined you as exempt from TOEFL or IELTS. Otherwise, you will need to take IELTS or TOEFL in order to be eligible for admission. You also need a conferred bachelor's degree that is comparable to a 4-year bachelor's degree in the United States. If you have a 3-year degree, you will need to ensure that you have, a 4-year degree through a postgraduate diploma or 1-year master's degree to meet that 4-year standard. If you're a European student and you have less than 240 ECTS credits, you're not eligible for admission to the Penn State Graduate School. So you need to make sure that you meet that 240 ECTS credit minimum, and you will then successfully apply and hopefully be admitted to our program. When we talk about scholarships, there are some very important notes that you must understand so that you can determine whether or not applying to our program is the best fit for you. Although we hope everyone sees that, we understand that financial implications are important. We're happy to announce that in fall 2025, 100% of our admitted students who were eligible for scholarship did receive some form of merit-based scholarships. We do our absolute best to distribute scholarships generously and fairly throughout our entire applicant or admitted pool. And 100% of eligible students did receive something. Scholarships are limited, not guaranteed, and are completely based on the merit of your application. We do not have any needs-based aid at the Penn State School of International Affairs. It is based on the quality of your application. This is why it's super important that you put together a really high-quality application. And if you just can't wait for December 16th, which I totally understand, simply because our deadline is December 31st for our best practices webinar, you can find a folder on our YouTube channel of archived best practices webinars, and you can kind of consume that information prior to December 16th as you're working on your application. And in fact, I would recommend that you do that anyway so that you can apply prior to December 16th. Give yourself a goal to apply by the end of November, for example. Your scholarships that are earned by you can discount your tuition up to about approximately 60%. On the high end, 60% is the discount that we can offer our top applicants. On the low end, maybe about 30%, but the average scholarship is anywhere from 40 to 50%. If you're an international applicant, you can use the scholarship towards your financial guarantee. The financial guarantee is required of you if you're an international student in order to earn or in order to receive the I-20, and the I-20 is required to get a visa interview. The financial guarantee is proof of funds from your bank account that show that you can cover a full year's worth of tuition and living expenses. Then with that in mind, the scholarship that you earn from us can be used against that to lower the overall burden of the financial guarantee that you need to provide to get the I-20. We do not have any fully funded scholarships available at the School of International Affairs. We're just not afforded that opportunity. That's why we try to generously distribute as high of scholarships as we can to as many people as we can, and help reduce the overall burden on you. With that being said, we also don't have any graduate or teaching assistant positions here at SIA. We're just not we're not afforded that possibility given the funding model of the university. Sometimes students can find GRTA positions somewhere else at the university, but you already need to be established in a program to be successful in that endeavor. With that, we are finished here today. We do want to invite you to connect with us. You can scan the QR code on the left to learn about future opportunities for other webinars, best practices webinars, and the like, as well as one-on-one opportunities to meet with Christy and or myself. On the right, you will find our QR code to our apply page or admissions page, where you can read through all of the eligibility requirements, what you need to submit at the time of application. And we hope to see an application from you all very, very soon. We hope to prioritize those who apply in November and early December in our admissions queue. If your application is completed, sooner rather than later. You probably will hear back from us in mid to late January, at the very latest, early February. So that is our current goal. And we, again, like I said, we will prioritize students who are applying now as opposed to those who apply the December 31st deadline. And with that, I do want to answer your questions. Hopefully, you have some for us. If not, we wish you a really great day. Thank you so much for stopping by and listening and learning more about us. But please go ahead and use the Q&A function to ask some questions. And I'll give it just a moment so that you can think of some. Any questions? Okay, someone asks, if I want to join in 2027, would it be advisable to apply now? Our application for 2027 isn't even open yet. Uh, so you'll have to wait until next year. Barring any changes, pretty much all of the information I shared today will pretty much be the same, but our application for 2027 will open on September 1st of 2026. So if that's what you would like to do, that's fine. If you're eligible for fall 2026, I say just go for it and apply and see what happens. Thank you so much for your question. Also, someone did ask if the recording will be available. We don't send out the recordings of the webinars, but we do archive them all on YouTube. So we have past ones with Q&As as well, different questions that are asked. So feel free to go onto our YouTube channel and see those. All right. Well, someone just came in. How much is the maximum amount of the scholarship? Since you mentioned it covers up to 60%, do you also provide advice on applying for external funding? Dollar amounts are tough because, oh, great. Thank you so much for all of the questions. Dollar amounts are tough. What I recommend that you do, excuse me, is if you can go, if you Google search our tuition calculator at Penn State and begin to fill out the form that they've created, put in 12 credits for the fall, 9 credits for the spring, and you'll be able to pull up um, the tuition and living expenses based on your residency. In-state and out-of-state students are required to pay a differing levels of tuition. I think the current out-of-state tuition for 21 credits in the first year is around $46,000. So if you take my word for it, and put in, do 60% of 46,000, that's the top scholarship that we would probably be able to offer this cycle. And I think in-state is around 26 or so thousand. I'm guessing on that. I don't remember. I haven't looked at it in a while. So I don't remember the in-state rate, but that would be about 60 or 50 or so percent of that. Do we provide advice on external funding? Yes. So we do have a scholarship database on our website, and we do recommend searching far and wide. There are gender specific, ethnicity, race specific, country specific, so many different types of scholarships available out there. We just recommend that you search far and wide. Definitely, if you're a citizen of the US, submit a FAFSA as soon as you can. That's going to be helpful for you. And that's what I can think of right now. If you have more personal questions about that, maybe we can learn a little bit more about you. Shoot us an email, and we'll be able to provide you more kind of personalized advice if anything is applicable in that regard. So apologize I apologize for being vague, but because I don't know who you are exactly. I can't give you that kind of personalized advice. Will LLM grads be exempted should they wish to join at a later date? Um, Exempted from what is my question? And are you a current Penn State Dickinson Law LLM student? If you could just clarify that for me, that would be helpful. Is there application fee waiver for international applicants? Yes, everyone, regardless of your residency, is required to pay an application fee. But if you are on our mailing list currently, you should be receiving a fee waiver from now until the end of the month. And that is available to you through November 30th. Um, Someone also did ask if we assist students with accommodation. We do provide, if you're admitted and you decide to enroll in our program by paying a seat deposit, we will provide you with tons of resources on finding apartments and housing around here. We will also set you up with a peer mentor who can assist with that as well. So we won't leave you hanging, but the onus and responsibility is on you as the enrolled student to find housing, but we will provide you resources to point you in the right direction. Are there any other questions for us? Those were good questions. Thank you so much. Can you talk about career placement of SIA grads? Maybe provide info on the last. Yeah, great question. Um, I don't have that. I actually did do some data. I actually received some data of our career attainment. So I do want to kind of demystify the word placement. Not trying to be semantic or not trying to dig into the semantics, but I do want to be clear that we don't give students jobs. Students find jobs. We just point them in the right direction. So I do want to make sure that that's super clear. If you're looking for a program that will give you a job, go to that program, but not many programs do that. In any case, yeah. So we say a career attainment. Um, and the last class, I don't remember the exact breakdown, but I believe basically a third went into the private sector, a third went into the public sector, and then the remaining third were split into um, like higher education, academia, PhD, and the other were like in nonprofit NGO type work. I believe that's the breakdown. If you go to Foreign Affairs Graduate School Forum, you'll be able to actually find the breakdown that I'm discussing on that website with a profile of our program as well. Go ahead and check that out if you have time. You can just Google search the Foreign Affairs Graduate Forum, and that statistical breakdown is on that website. And hopefully that helps. If a current LLM student be exempted from the full duration of the course, okay, yeah. If you are a current Penn State Dickinson Law LLM student, one, you need to apply literally as soon as you possibly can. Please reach out to us. I'm going to put our email in the chat. You need to reach out to us and we need to have a conversation about your interest in the LLM MIA degree program, the joint degree program. We need to meet to discuss that. It's not really an exemption, but we will allow you to complete our program in one academic year. So I don't know you, so we need to learn more about your plans and where you're at currently in the process of your LLM degree, and then we can kind of give you better advice on what our program would look like as a result. Okay. Any other questions for us today? Those are good questions. Thank you. Appreciate your engagement. Okay. Well, thank you all so very much. We really appreciate your time and attention. Again, feel free to check out YouTube and our YouTube channel for any archived webinars. Apply as soon as you can. We highly recommend it. Again, we'll prioritize those who apply now in our queue for January. We hope to see an application come through from you soon, and we wish you a really great day. Thanks so much.